Alright, so this video is going to show you how to complete the gathering sample. You're going to need pieces 19C and 19D. Gathering allows you to work in fullness, so you're going to be using, again, 19C and then 19D. After you cut out your fabric, you're going to use your fabric marker to mark the 2 circles on pattern piece 19D and then the 2 circles on pattern piece 19C. Gathering requires 2 rows of stitches. To prepare your machine for the stitches, you want to set your machine stitch length at your largest setting, which is 4. This is your basting stitch. You're going to start using pattern piece 19C, and you're going to sew your first row of stitches at the 1/2 line. When completing your stitches, you do not want to backstitch before you begin or at the end of your row of stitches. When you get to the end of your row, you want to leave a little bit of tail. You're going to use that to gather your stitches. After completing your row of stitches at the 1/2 inch mark, you're then going to line it up and sew a second row of the same stitches on the 3/4 line. Again, you want to make sure you don't backstitch at the beginning or the end of the row of stitches. Once you've completed your 2 row of stitches, you're going to pull on the top string of both rows of your stitches to gather the material so that it will fit to the size of your piece 19D. Once you secure the top row of stitches, you're then going to hold on to the strings that are on the other side so that you can pull and ease your stitches through. So as you're holding this edge, you're going to continue to pull and slide from the left to the right. As you pull, you want to move your fabric and the thread to your right hand side, keeping your gathering even. Don't worry about the bottom row of stitches. They're going to be removed, so you will not see them when you're done sewing. Okay, so you'll take your piece 19D and then you're going to line up your gathered piece with your markings or your small dots matching, and then you're going to pin them together. When you sew your piece 19D to pattern piece 19C, you want to go ahead and switch your pins back to your original stitch length of 2.5. And since you'll be putting a permanent stitch in, you want to make sure you backstitch at the beginning and the end of your row of stitches. You will also be sewing at the 5/8 mark when you complete your final row of stitching. So again, you want to backstitch to secure your stitch. When you're finished sewing, you're going to flip your garment or your sample up, and you'll see that there's some basting threads that will need to be removed. Make sure that you don't take out your permanent stitch, but as you can see, this allows for the fullness. A lot of times this is used on skirts and sometimes sleeves of tops.